Am I live? Let's see. Apparently I am. Hey, hey. Hi everyone, welcome back to Drams and Drams. This is episode 6 or 5. I'll change the title when I've figured it out. As you can probably hear from my voice, I'm a little under the weather, so everything's out of whack. No fancy title cards, no intro music. I'm amazed I'm doing this at all. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Let me know if you can. I've got, again, continually new setups, but going from a different laptop this time, so hopefully I've got it all back working. So if you can hear my voice, everything's in sync. Hear the guitar, let me know. So I'm not sure, I didn't advertise the stream because I had a good feeling I was going to actually just bail on it and cancel, but so I'm not sure how many people are going to turn up, but I might go a bit shorter as well, so you can hear my voice is down an octave, and so yeah, I might just do an hour, and so here we go. How is everyone? Has everyone been enjoying this amazing weather we've had since last week? It's been pretty nice. Just got a few admin-y things to check on. Okay, I'll just start. I'll do some playing. I just realised the thumbnail's like not a great one. Well. And I guess thank you very much for letting me know that. Play backing track as well. Is this going to work?
One, two, three, 2, 2.
I think it is, yeah. Try and play very early. Let's do some practice.
1, 2, 3, 2, 2.
section, so this is not in the middle. that's the. I should have put the changes on the screen actually. I don't know if you could see them in the. No, they're just out of shot. Should have put them on. Maybe I'll do it again and put the changes on the screen. Joe, how's it going, man? All good, thanks. Well, I say that. That's a lie. I'm full of man flu, but I'm still trying to do the stream anyway. So Arpan does a. Hey David, what can get me to be able to understand every rhythm? I cannot connect to a BPM. Excuse me about the coughing. How do I mute this? I got to mix 8. Hopefully that muted the coughing. I think you've got 2 questions going on there, Arpan. I'm not entirely sure what you mean exactly, but it sounds like it's 2 questions. What can get me to be able to understand every rhythm? I wouldn't say you have to understand every rhythm, just having a really good internal clock and working sort of framework for the basics. So whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, and their triplet variations. So in terms of understanding and practicing and sort of being able to read that, I know people kind of disagree on whether the necessity for learning to sight read and read music, but one of the really great benefits is by practicing reading rhythms a lot, you get good at feeling and building an internal clock, I think. And so there was a fantastic book that I used it a lot when I was teaching in schools, called Music Reading for Guitar, by a guy called David Oakes. It's a MI Press book, and it introduces, it's actually for sort of reading notation in general for electric guitar, and it does it in a way that's presented for, assumes you can already play guitar a bit, but you learn to read from scratch, and it introduces like fretboard notation with rhythms as well, and it kind of separates them out and then brings them together. It's excellent book for that. So maybe that would be useful. Having a good, having a really good internal clock for those rhythms. And then your second part to your question there, you cannot connect to a BPM. You might, maybe if you want to just define that a little bit more, then yeah, because I'm not entirely sure what you mean there. Joe says, what P90 have you got in the neck there? Well, it is Fibonacci's own P90. I don't exactly know what it was wired to. This is the only Fibonacci of mine that I didn't have custom built, spec'd. I was after a jazz kind of semi-hollow and quickly, and they had this. This was a show guitar that didn't sell from, I can't remember which show it was. It was a European one, and they just had it pre-made and in stock. And so yeah, sent it over to me 2019, I think it was, 18 or 19. It's a gorgeous, lovely flamed top, and then it's all Carina. It's super lightweight. It's yeah, beautiful guitar. Very woody sounding, and pickups are fantastic. So it's got a really nice sort of warm P90. Say, I don't know exactly how it was wound. Because I didn't ask them to wind it. It just turned out it was great. The bridge pickup as well. It's got the ALV63, I think it is, in the bridge. I could have been making that up. Three-way switch, volume and tone. This is my only Fibonacci with nickel frets as well. These are not stainless steel. Excuse the coughing. And then the only thing that's like, this is a big boy's guitar. I don't know if you've seen my other necks. They're not skinny necks, but they're playable. Whereas this is quite a chonker. This has got some girth to it. So it's that kind of you know, like a 58 Les Paul or something that's got the, not that I've played a real one, but you know, from the mythology is that like some 58s and whatever have got like more thicker baseball bat necks. This has got some chunk to it. So that's the only thing. If I would have been, you know, putting a custom build spec sheet in, then I wouldn't have had this neck profile. But it just makes me, you know, put my big boy pants on and play properly. So, so Gordo says, any ideas for improvising over Little Wing? How'd you approach it other than just playing pentatonic ideas? Ha! That's a great question, and I'm going to save it because I have a video. This is a sneak preview that I've been working on to actually incorporate some stuff with the solo app, some dates in the solo app. So I'm going to save that question, and when I've got that video posted, I'll do a live stream and then talk about it more on that live stream. But thanks for the question. That's a great one. Can I resist the urge to go into it now? But yes, I will be strong and resist the urge, because otherwise I'll derail myself for an hour talking about harmony. But hopefully you can wait too, Gordo, but hopefully it won't be too long. Yeah, it's lovely, Joe. Yeah, it's great. It's the only other thing is about this guitar, I had it was built because it was like with the brass nuts, they cut them specifically for string gauges. So it was cut for 10s, 10 to 46s. And when I wanted it as a jazz guitar, I wanted to put thicker strings on. And so really I should have had a new nut cut for 11 to 52 or 49. And I didn't. And that created some intonation issues that with the two-piece thing I couldn't really sort out. So when I got my 175, my Gibson vintage guitar, and that became my main jazz guitar, and then this turned back into what it's supposed to be, like the kind of middle ground, the rootsy kind of Americana bluesy jazz thing, and I put it back to 10 to 46 gauge. It's perfectly intonated in tuner, and then I can sort of rock out with it a little bit as well more, and use it as it's probably mainly built for. But it does a great jazz tone as well, but it can also rock out, which is why I think these kind of guitars are really cool. Hey Stacey, good to see you. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing long, I'm afraid. I'm mute. Just let me know if that cough was like blue speakers out or you didn't hear the cough. I think I've got a mix set up where I can mute my coughing. Smith, yeah. Yeah, same, because you've got exactly the same. You did exactly the same thing, didn't you? But was your Rahan a custom build though, or did you, when you custom built it, did you ask for 10 to cut them up for 10 to 46, and then you decided to put 11s on? Was that your situation? But if you stick that, if it was that's the case, if your nuts cut for 10s. If you put 10s back on, I'm sure it'll be fine. Mr. Wet Duck, thank you very much for the feedback on that. That's good to know. How's it going, Mr. Wet Duck? Gordo, how much, if any, did Holdsworth influence your legato playing? If not him, is there another influence? Okay, let's pause the Holdsworth bit. Obviously, like being good friends with Tom, and it was a massive influence, and I'm very grateful for the chance to sort of learn and play and jam and be able to pick up that stuff from his tutorials, and then working closely with the dude. But absolutely, there's been other legato players at that whole of the time as I was discovering all those early YouTube guys. Yeah, what happened was I started, well, it originally started with Guthrie, and that kind of, Guthrie's more in-time legato. Then through the early YouTube sort of blues jam track stuff, where he would improvise over all those kind of stylistic tracks. And the thing that really jumped out to my ear was the more like defined in time stuff that he was doing, where he'd play a phrase that was like to a subdivision. That was really appealing. And then I discovered Tom's playing in the early days of YouTube, and sort of, yeah, obviously blew my mind. And that kind of then sent me down the rabbit hole of like those other influences, like so Brett Garsed, and Alan Hines. Holdsworth has always been this elusive beast, this mysterious beast to me that I would try to listen to. And obviously at the time as well, I was really trying to get into jazz and change his playing and really crack the jazz puzzle. And so I really enjoyed Holdsworth's None Too Soon album, the Standards album, but Holdsworth in general, up until more recently, has been an elusive, like terrifying beast. So I couldn't actually, hand on heart, say Holdsworth playing has influenced me. I've tried to listen to it, but I've not really learned it. That said, I'm working on a project. One of my sort of resolutions for the year is to start doing more live playing, and I think I'm going to be putting a couple of different projects together, and with some friends, local friends, and yeah, one tune has been Looking Glass has been suggested by Steve, the drummer. So I think he's quite keen to do that, and so I've been sort of looking over that, Looking Glass. But Protocosmos and the other albums, so 16 Men of Tain, yeah, Metal Fatigue. The Holdsworth stuff that I've really not looked at playing, but listened to a lot, was the early stuff. When there's some mental stuff on YouTube when he was in like the early 70s playing legato that was like sounds hold up and stand up today with the best of players, you know. Holdsworth truly is like, yeah, on another league. But yeah, I'd have to say obviously Tom, Brett, and the other Alan, Hines, he is absolutely, you know, sublime. What else is that? And I said like Guthrie's stuff where he was doing that kind of thing. Yeah, anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, man, it's I think I should just never leave Leeds, because I always get sick when I leave Leeds. So yeah, I was a year ago. I did a gig in Skegness and caught COVID, and then I caught COVID in February at a funeral, and this isn't COVID this time, but I was in London and hang out with went to see Jonathan Kreisberg, and down at Ronnie's with John Cordy, Jake Loosemore, Dr. Jake, hang out with him, and Jake's partner, and yeah, that was really cool, really awesome, inspiring. Great to catch up with Jonathan and see him play. I've not seen him play since pre-lockdown, but we've stayed in touch over online and stuff, and yeah, wonderful. Hopefully at some point we can sort of rearrange some more Leeds stuff, arrange some more Leeds things. That would be fun to maybe try and put myself through again. But yeah, so I reckon I caught the dirty London cold, didn't I? Why are those not auto disappearing? Andergast, how's it going, man? Andergast, David, is the code for the fretboard course still valid? I wanted to buy it yesterday but could not find somewhere to type it in. I don't think there is a code valid at the moment, but there will be soon. I'm still getting through a backlog of videos, and I do have one more video to launch a code with, one more year anniversary video to launch a code with, but I just don't think it's valid right now. Check back in the next couple of days. If not, then definitely this time next week it should be. I should have that set back up. So sorry that's not live right now, but yeah, we will be running a code, and I should in theory be promoting it on next week's stream. Yeah, thanks for the interest though. Mr. Wet Duck, it took me so many years to hear Holdsworth. still a ways to go with my ear. Absolutely. I think that's the thing. It's so terrifying is because like it's just an assault of the oral senses and you just do not know what's going on, and it can sound really cool, it can sound scary, it can sound like utter noise sometimes, it can sound beautiful. It's just this massive sound that you just cannot make heads or tail of. And trying to, like, if you try and dig into sort of what's going on, like listening to Holder talk about himself is quite entertaining and amusing, but it's completely nonsensical to me. So it's just been this, but I find it like a really beautiful evolution, like a really kind of just an ongoing relationship with music, really. Like I don't, you know, I think I've kind of made peace with like the understanding that I'm forever going to be a student, I'm forever going to be learning, and that's a really exciting thing in some ways. Or at least that's how I comfort myself with not being amazing. Making you know, lemonade out of lemons of being not very talented. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. I think that's one of the most important things, if possible. Goodo, I love Alan Hines, been a fan of his for playing for a long time. Greg Howe too is another favourite of mine. Yeah, Greg Howe is amazing. That's a style which I think Greg is a little bit more kind of like wibbly wobbly with the divisions. I'm pretty sure he obviously can play the subdivisions, but his really signature kind of style is where he's kind of floating across the bar and the tapping and stuff. So I've not really gone sort of down more of the Greg Howell Greg Howell. This stream is not going to be good. I'm going to have a little medicinal whiskey in a moment. That'll sort me out. But Alan Hines, man, yeah, what an absolute. It's almost like the perfect guitar player, because he can like burn up the fretboard with wonderful legato, and he kind of just teeters on the edge of it almost being, it's like a controlled chaos as well. He can completely like control the subdivisions, but it's like I think he like purposefully kind of wobbles and teeters on the edge of the subdivisions in such a beautiful musically phrased way. His touch is just, yeah, it's absolutely godlike. Alan Hines. And obviously his tunes are really cool as well. He's got that kind of, you know, that kind of bluesier kind of influence that just wears on his sleeve with it too. Yeah, if anyone doesn't know Alan Hines, I'm sure you must do if you're watching me, but yeah, check him out if you don't. Jason, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Yeah, sorry, Jason. That's partly my fault. I was actually going to not stream tonight. You can probably hear I'm full of cold. So I didn't really advertise or promote the stream because I thought I was going to be cancelling. But I just thought, I really didn't want to break my streak. I've done like, I think this is 5 or 6, episode 5 or 6 now in a row. So, and if I could do it while I was on a gig last week in a hotel, I figured, well, I might as well just turn the cameras on and see. So I'm going to have some medicine. So let's talk about this one. I think I've had this one on the stream before. I filled this bottle myself at Lagavulin on Isla on Tom's birthday 2023. This was a celebratory thing. This is 2014, 9-year-old. Well, it was 9 years old at the time. And yeah, it's let's see if that focuses. So it's a little teeny bottle. This is really cool. There's a very funny video that I may post. I may at some point in the future, if I finish editing it, of me filling this up. So there's not much left. This one, but so I hope everyone's had a really good week. Challenge, I think you pronounce it. Cheers. Oh, that is good. Yeah, cheers, Anagust. Fancy Clown, how you doing? That 4-hour plus video breaking down some of his idea and licks helped me make stuff much more accessible for me. Are you talking about, which Alan are you talking about there, Fancy Clown? I'm not sure I know the one you mean. Hey Lewis, how's it going, mate? Just listen to Rat Scat before jumping on this. What a tune. Yeah, Rat Scat's fantastic. Yeah, the Monkeys and Slide album I've been digging a lot recently. I'm so bad with names. All the music that I've rediscovered in the last 10 years, I just don't know the names for because it's all been streamed or in playlists and things. So I'm so terrible, really. I should try and remember what things are called. But there's some beautiful tunes on Monkeys and Slide. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, gut Besserung. Cheers. Hey, Jimmy, how's it going, man? How you doing? Holdsworth, right, the 4-hour. Yeah, maybe link in the chat to that video if it's available on YouTube. If it's not, then or somewhere to watch it. Yes, on Rat Scat on Monkeys and Slides, yeah. So I was playing, hopefully it worked. I might do it again. I'll try and see if there they go. Yeah, so this is going to be, like I was saying, this is going to be a shorter stream. And I still haven't, so I've got there's a new Mac Studio, but then the laptop that I do the streaming with is not set up yet, ready for it. So I don't have all of my scenes and, you know, pre-stream music and stuff like that. So apologies. But yeah, next week, I know I've said this 2 weeks in a row now, but next week I will have the full setup and the phone camera and all that to be able to do some proper teaching with. But I'm just going to do some. I'm just going to do some playing this week, I think. 5 hours plus. Yeah, man. So then the new Heinz album is amazing. The Good Fight. Yes, I've listened to that a few times. There's a couple of tunes. Again, names just escape me now, but there's a couple of tunes that did stand out. Yeah, I want to give it some more time. And Alan, I think he taught or still teaches at MI, and he's a kind of like that kind of like player that's like just sits in between that you know, blues, rock, jazz kind of hybrid. So, you know, I think it's always fun to hear him play standards as well. Let's see if I can actually play the head right this time.
1, 2, 3, 2.
did I say I would do? I'm so not with it. Let me do this. Nope, that's right. Okay, so these are the changes. Maybe I'll get dinged for copyright, blah blah blah, but I can just delete this, can't I? Okay. It's not playing. Come on.
1, 2, 3, 2.
There we go. It's always that bar. What's going on? take that comment away. The comments are not auto disappearing. Weirdly, I was watching Alan Hines' melodic improv course on Truefi today, and he has a cold. Yeah, but I think I know. Yeah, I know the. I've watched that course too. Yeah. I'm sure his cold is more musical than mine. Hi, William. Good to see you uploading amazing videos more recently. Ah, thanks very much. Very kind of you. Very kind. Cheers, Gordo. Cheers. Cool. Right, let's just check this comment out here. Jason, thanks for the tip last week for learning the compensated positions with the solo album course. Find the normal position first, then compensate it. Brilliant. Yeah. Let me know how you're going with that. I think it's whatever chapter it is in the course. I think it's chapter 4. But following that and just disciplining yourself, as best you can to do it that way. Go through the drill that we teach in the way that we do it for each interval, and try not to think of the compensated shapes as different physical shapes. I know they literally are. I think I even say it this way in the course, but you want to kind of group them together with the uncompensated shapes, and you just organically build it into your practice, and the payoff will be, I'm sure it will come for you, Jason. Yeah, apologies for the noise. Someone's cranking a tractor. It sounds some kind of quad bike outside. Yeah, so let me know if anyone's got any questions. Actually, the strings on this are a bit old, so the tuning is slipping. What time are we on? 20 past. Wow, it's 20 past 7 already. How long have we been going? 43. So I'll probably stop after an hour. So if anyone's got any questions or wants me to play anything or anything, I can just let me know. Doesn't auto scroll down, does it? Oh yeah, it's fine. It's done it. Fancy clown. Plan never changes. Are you thinking chord by chord, or do you look for stuff like 2-5-1s? So it depends on what I'm playing over. Wow. I don't know if you can hear that noise. Idiots on quad bikes or something. So that's what it sounds like. So maybe this is a topic for a start of a full stream, maybe. It depends how tonal something is, how functional and tonal something is. Largely, I'm trying to play. Appropriate. I'm largely trying to think chord tones first and foremost, which, but let's say something's a standard that's really tonal in a key, then I'm thinking chord tones plus appropriate sort of notes that are going to flesh out the harmony, the appropriate harmony. But just lately, I've been thinking a little bit more and working on the Barry Harris stuff, where it's sort of simplifying things down and just thinking over longer, broader periods. So I'm trying to work on incorporate that into my playing now more. But again, it sort of depends on how sort of tonal or functional something is. The more it goes away from sort of tonal functional harmony into tonal and functional harmony into more pockets of modal stuff, then yes, or something that's totally non-functional, I'd be thinking chord by chord. There are just certain things like with very early, for example, it's just you can't think. It's very much in the key of C, and you can kind of, there's some really beautiful sort of modal interchange stuff going on there. But there's certain chords where you just kind of can't brute force, just brute force just like one kind of key scale over the whole thing. It's just going to not work. So what's this? The title of today's stream mentions hard changes. Playing over hard changes is hard, but what does that definition actually mean? Oh, hard changes. Well, yeah, exactly, kind of what I'm talking about. To be honest, Jason, like I would consider like this, so I would consider these changes pretty hard. I'm not going to go through and sort of teach this now, but you really you can't really, it's in the key of C, it is kind of tonal, but it moves in such a way that you can't just brute force the C major scale over the whole thing. They were like sort of diminished kind of dominant sound as well. And then we sort of, that's kind of, yeah, very much not C major there as it goes to D major 7. So yeah, I think by any reasonable sane person would consider these kind of hard changes maybe, even if you're very good at it and know the tune really well and can play over it. I've tried to play over this for years, and I think it would always be considered in my book as like hard changes. And I don't know, has anyone got a different opinion? Does anyone think very early is like piece of piss? Bobby, nice, learning the changes helps so much in sounding good. It does, and in fact, like, let me play it without reading it. Let's do that. So I will look away. And that is a really important aspect of it. And I do know these, so.
1, 2, 3, 2.
No, I've lost it there. yeah, so like I have a weird thing with memorizing tunes. So like there's a weird like uncanny valley thing that goes on where so I play better when I'm looking at and reading the changes, and then like, and then after a bit, and I know them, I play much better. So yeah, so there's a weird part where when I'm first kind of learning a tune, I'm trying to get it. I play much better when I'm looking at the changes, but then but I think I start to play more musical when I'm not looking at them. So it's definitely a real thing, but a lot of other things can sort of get in the way. It's partly the way in which I learned to play and some of the tunes I was learning. But yeah, so I think it's like an uncanny valley thing, where it definitely is better in the beginning stages, because I have developed this skill, and I'm going to do this on a stream one week. I just don't want to do it right now when I'm feeling like shit, where I can pretty much like play over almost any chord progression, like just first time seeing it. It's not going to be very good, but it can probably, I can feel relaxed in that I can play, be able to like make my way through it. That was one of my big skills I wanted to do, like kind of develop. It's kind of, in hindsight now it seems stupid, like, because why not actually learn like tunes and songs? But for whatever reason, I'm not going to go into it now, one of the things I want to be able to do is to be able to just open the real book to a random page and be able to just play through it and have the skills to be able to kind of just tackle it first at sight. So I kind of worked on that a lot. So I've got that kind of thing. But that's not conducive necessarily to like really knowing songs and tunes and making music. And so I've got like maybe like a handful now, maybe like 15 or so standards that are 20 now that are really locked away. More easier ones than very early, like Stella, Beautiful Love, All the Things. These are kind of like pretty much fine to be sort of playing in their whatever format. That's the other thing. I don't know if any of you guys that struggle with this, but like there's certain tempos as well where I need to go back. My brain just can't, my memory can't work fast enough for certain tempos. Like I can sort of like relax into it much easier if the chart's in front of me and I can play much faster. But again, like maybe that's not a musical thing. So. Hey, Jens, how's it going? No escaping. What's going on here? No escaping seeing the fretboard. No, I think there kind of is, in the sense that I'm trying to build an oral map of things as well. Like that's a really good topic suggestion, I think, for another day, in terms of like I've obsessed for so long on seeing the visualizing the fretboard, but I think there's another layer to it that I was kind of not missing, but I was kind of meaning without realizing it, is hearing the fretboard. I think I need to talk about that a bit more. Yeah, thanks, Jens. How's it going, man? The quad bike accompaniment. My quartet. It's the David Beebe quartet. Quad bike tet. So hard what he's doing right now. Yeah, you talking about me, Wet Duck? Jason, I'm on section 6 and starting to play intervals without a root note, which is very satisfying. I tend to spend too much time in each section. I don't think you can spend too much time, Jason. I think if you're working through and you can sort of run things in parallel a little bit, but it's not going to hurt you. So an example, like I could do like let me do another example with some kind of exercises like that you could practice. Like this is we don't do this in the course, but this is stuff that I've covered in Pathways to Jazz and things. But But like as an exercise, if you wanted to sort of work on stuff, I'll just take it with this again. But like, I could target the third. I don't know. I'll start really straightforward. So I'm just going to target chord tone, so like the third over it.
1, 2.
Oh, actually, I would not do this with a backing track. Would be to start with. So maybe I could play the bass notes as well. Note in the third. And I think that's a really underappreciated skill to be able to, or a skill that's sometimes assumed a lot in some education circles, that you can just do this. I think it was assumed of me, and I think it's not something that is like really should be necessarily, and like getting to that point, that on ramp is the kind of thing like working with what you're doing, Jason, that will help. No, I'm doing that there with a lower bass note, but you could like really just kind of push down into the sort of the 2-point thing. And, you know, I could see like, you know, I could see, so here's my 1, here's my 3, so I could see this descending shape 2, and I could go to the 3 here of B flat, so that's ascending shape 2. Go to the 3 of E flat there, it's ascending shape 2 compensated. I could go to the 3 here, it's ascending shape 1 from that A flat. I could go to the ascending shape 2 compensated here from this D flat. Just practice finding my 3s all through the tune. Sort of still hear the harmony going along there as well, because I've played it a few times now, but you can kind of, you can sort of hear that. It's such a nice way to sort of practice in as well, because you can kind of practice with just yourself and just single notes and still kind of hear, hopefully you can still sort of hear things going on. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing where there's so much to practice. You could never get bored of, there's never run out of things to practice, because I could just practice visualizing, hearing the thirds through all these changes, then doing the 5s. You know, that's sort of the thing that I can do super easy now. And that's largely the way that, you know, I'm trying to play melodically. I'm trying to sort of hear the fretboard as well. But, you know, that's how you can kind of go about building out. Obviously, this is a very different way of practicing and playing than sort of like, I could learn my arpeggios like this and play them. It's completely valid and a very important way of doing it too. But I think for a lot of people, myself included, there was just a brick wall of trying to just force memorization, those kind of larger shapes, without really understanding the sort of makeup of the geometry of the fretboard more deeply. So by taking it apart in a different kind of way, you know, by doing the 2-point thing and the intervals thing so deep that when I came back to then looking at my larger shapes that were kind of in the back of memory, it's one of those things where I can't unsee it, or I can't unhear it now. Like if I play this physical shape, it's impossible for me not to know, see and hear that there's the 5, there's the 3, there's the 7. And that's independent of me triggering this big shape. And the way that I played and would learn previously was that I really, everything hinged, was contingent upon me knowing this starting point and then having to fire off this large shape, which some people, you know, get pretty good at, you know, seeing the forest for the trees and the details on the inside of it. I never did, without really kind of going deep and taking it all apart and learning from you know, ground up fundamentals, it's sort of intervallically of how the fretboard works. That was huge for me to make that transition to being able to actually play through changes and play, you know, jazz type musics. I've gone over an hour. Okay, I need to slow down now. Yeah, Fancy Clown thought you'd spend a week or two on Cantaloupe Island, and I'm still finding new stuff months later. I'm still finding new stuff on the same tunes I've been playing for 10 years. So I think, you know, yeah, that's the thing. You'll never exhaust these things. You'll and that's why I find, like I was calling back to what I was saying earlier on about life, you know, being musical life being like just an ongoing journey, and just finding peace and enjoyment in the process, in the moment, is so important to me. The moment that I was able to do that, I started to see and feel like big leaps forward. I'd stopped, you know, when I stopped being goal orientated and just started being like moment present orientated with the practice, and it was so much more enjoyable for one, but then results started appearing. That's great, Jason. Good stuff. Yeah, Mr. Wed Duck, learning to love practice. That's it. Yeah, it was a lot. You know, it was a real. And starting to share that journey as well was really important to me. Like, sort of, was it 10 years ago now? I guess it was 9 years ago. By just talking about it, sharing it, discussing it with other people. Because for a little while, when like I was doing the real hard shedding work in my early 30s, I was kind of just doing it in secret, in isolation, after work, and you know, in between work, and a lot of my peers from back when I was at college, I don't know, I'd hidden, I think, maybe, whether I was successful or not, I don't know, but I'd sort of tried to hide as much as I could my flaws and, you know, insecurities and failures as a player and a musician, and tried to just only put myself into situations where I could kind of, or not put myself in situations where I get found out. And so whilst I was doing a lot of that hard practice and hard shedding, that restarting of the engine, getting the furnace going in my early 30s, I kind of did it all in secret, in hiding, and that was a like real depressive weight for a time. So then in sort of 2015-16 period, where I started like live streaming and doing a guitar hour and like talking to the guitar players, jamming with other guitar players, it was so freeing, and it was so enabled me to love to practice even more, because I felt like it's okay. I don't have to be the best. I don't have to be amazing. I can just be me, and I can just be at the level I am, and that's good enough. And I enjoy it, and I can, you know, that was such a wonderful place to get to. Yeah. Stacey, I think that when you discover new things and old stuff, it's your ears getting better with time. That is a really good point, Stacey. I mean, yeah, absolutely. That is so true. Yeah. Yeah, very astute, profound point there. Well, I think I'm going to call it, and I'm going to have an early night. I still did it though. I still made the stream. I was so close to binning it off. I was so close, because my new laptop that I was do the streaming from is like not get everything right, and I'm one of those. One of the things I've got to get better at is stopping my perfectionist nature from like letting me do stuff. So I'm really glad I just turned the camera on, even though it wasn't the usual standard, and hopefully it's been still interesting, somewhat interesting for you guys. Jason, great phrase I would use. Comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah, I mean that's it. It's a classic. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think how you respond to the comparison is the real thief, isn't it? Because I think you can, like, I think an extension of that would be, well, like, you know, I can objectively compare myself to someone, and it's only bad if I have an experiential reaction to that that's negative. It maybe can be useful in an objective sense, but yeah, broadly speaking, Mr. Wet Duck, it's eye-opening to realise we all struggled and still do to learn this guitar. Hope you fill those in. Oh man, yeah, that's the thing. I think the other thing I realised as well was it's all the way down. It's all the way up. Chances are your guitar heroes are probably you know, wishing they were better still as well. So it never ends, and I think realising that was a big moment as well, where yeah, we're all just struggling, and if you can find enjoyment in the struggle, during the struggle, you know, then you're probably winning. Yep, thanks guys. I don't know, should I play it in more? Why can't I get that grip today? Because I'm sick. Sorry Basil, I'm just about to finish. I'm just winding down. I'm not very well, so I'm just doing a short one today. I can quickly talk you through the tone. So I'm using my Fibonacci Rahan semi-hollow. So this is a kind of, got P90 in the bridge, humbucker, Fibonacci humbucker in the, sorry, P90 in the neck. I'm really tired now. Humbucker in the bridge. 10 to 46 nickel frets, and I'm going into the fractal FM3 using a well, can I? Oh no, I can't. I was going to screen share it, but I can't. But I'm using the deluxe reverb, and it's my kind of Kreisberg kind of jazz tone with the deluxe. My attempt at that, anyway. Maybe I'll go break that preset down at some point in a video. Yeah, you're welcome, Fancy Clown. Thanks for joining the stream. Thanks to everyone for joining the stream, and I will try and get next week. Should be, this is not, it's not too bad actually, the cold. It's just, thankfully it's not proper flu, it's just man flu, cold. So I should be all fine for a proper stream next week. I'll advertise it, and but as always, keep an eye out, check your YouTube notifications for my channel and the bell and whatnot. So hopefully you get you get the notification. But yeah, I'll try and do some promotion for that for next week's stream. Any questions, any suggestions or topics for what to cover? Yep, let me know. Comment or send me an email. And yeah, I will see you, or you'll see me next week. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.